Hey Pisces, welcome to the last portion of April. I hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and get into your reading for the last portion of April 2019. Show me energies present for Pisces. Pisces. So I was going to say, I feel a lot of energy with deep thought, deep contemplation. Deep thought, deep contemplation. And then this pops out. You have the Judgment card. The Judgment card talks about utilizing our best judgment, judging others harshly, going about things that, work for us in our lives, be down to what other people think and say and do, what makes us happy. A lot of the time it can also talk about reconciliations. So let us move on. That's not the only card. Let's move on. Show me more for Pisces. That's going to drive me nuts, Pisces. I feel like a dog scratching fleas. Show me more for Pisces. So you have the Nine of Cups with the Magician here for this card, Pisces, along with the Judgment card. I'm just going to go ahead and pull your cards here, and then we will continue on with the messages, okay? Okay. Show me more for Pisces. Beneath the Judgment card, you have the Page of Cups. More for Pisces. You have the Hierophant in reverse. Did that fall out in reverse? I think it fell out. Yeah, it did fall out in reverse. Show me more for the sign of Pisces. So you have the King of Pentacles along with the Four of Pentacles here. Okay. That's the other way around. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to see and remember how they fell out because that does make a difference. Show me more for Pisces. Ace of Swords here, Pisces. With the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like somebody wants to come back. I mean, it seems pretty clear here. So now you have Strength, Leo energy, fire sign energy, and then what popped out with it was the Page of Pentacles with Strength. And victory at the bottom of the deck. The Six of Wands means a lot more than just victory, but let's keep reading. Okay, so Pisces, it feels like right now you're really needing to weigh out what makes sense to you as far as what you truly want in your life, what makes you happy. Now, I want to preface this or say this with the intention of being conscious about putting that upon another person, okay? So this doesn't necessarily mean a person is going to make you happy and you have to reconcile. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is really utilize your best possible judgment in regard to what you want. What do you want? How do you go about bringing it up in your life? I feel it's important for you to look at that versus just being stuck on a person, because it feels like there's a person coming back. It feels like you could have an earth sign coming back, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, could be an Aries, Taurus, Leo, air sign too. It doesn't matter. All the signs are here. What I'm saying here, though, is it's very important for you to really come into some understanding of what makes sense for you as far as your happiness goes, what makes sense for you as far as what works for you on an emotional level, what type of connections do you require so that you can experience simplicity is actually the first thing that came to mind. Simplicity. You know, a lot of the times we, as Pisces, we can enter into situations with people that tend to be really exhausting because we oftentimes, I'm a Pisces too, we can often overgive. And sometimes people will allow that. They'll expect that. And we can fall into ruts in regard to that. I think it's important for us to really be conscious of what makes sense for us, though. What do we want to allow people to receive from us? I'm not saying take from us, because taking implies an energy of like you're being a victim, like you're being victimized. What do we give? What do you choose to give? And what do you choose to give towards your own happiness? Again, some of you are going to be dealing with somebody coming back here. If that is the case, I do want to mention that. But also, what are we doing in regard to how we want to go about our life? How are we bringing our own happiness to our life? What steps are we taking? What things are we doing? How are we moving forward towards what we want? Here we have an energy where we utilize the information that we've received from the experiences that we've had, and we move them forward towards what we want, whether that be in school, whether that be information that we've learned from relationships, time spent alone. You know, I was, what do you call it? Celibate for 7 years, not even a kiss, you know, and that was really helpful for me at a point in my life, because it gave me a lot of deep like inner wisdom that I could have never had without that particular time period happening, you know. So there's a lot of different things you can receive information, but how do we utilize it? How do we put it towards what we want in our lives? How do we make things happen here, you know? Yeah. And so I think it's important to press on in that regard, persevere in that regard, you know, move forward in that regard. If you have an idea that makes sense for you as far as your emotional happiness, something that may be dealing with money, it doesn't have to deal with money, but something that's you're consciously putting effort into for your own happiness, I say hold on to that. Not hold off, not do it, but hold on to that. Nurture it, foster it into existence, you know. And it's important to do it as you will. Like, we can get very not we as Pisces, but people in general can get very conventional. They want to go with the they follow the herd. They want to be what's that word? What's that word? Accepted. I don't know. I don't really give much shit to acceptance. Like, I do my own thing, and I always have. But a lot of people want to be accepted. They want to please others. You have a card dead center of this reading here, where we are essentially dealing with energies that require us to be thinking out of the box. They require us to challenge ourselves and push ourselves to new heights and recognize new abilities within ourselves where we may not be accessing things, or we may be afraid to dive into. You know, if you've had something that you've, like an idea, say you've had an idea to, I don't know, make paper cranes, and these paper cranes are, I don't know, it's in a box, and every time somebody receives one of these boxes, it opens and this whole thing comes out, and paper cranes dangle in the air, and it's like this beautiful, like, diorama. Is that what they're called? Dioramas, whatever. And it's just pretty. It makes no sense. It's almost like those Japanese, like, things that make no sense. Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. They're like these inventions that don't make any sense really, but they exist. There's a market for it. Somebody has a market for it. Somebody has the desire for it. Do something unconventional. Recognize where you're unconventional in yourself and foster it, culture it. Give it more breath. Live it. Give it life. Now, that being said, we're going into energy here with people other than ourselves, okay? So, we have the King of Pentacles, we've got the Page of Cups, and we have the the Judgment card. So how they look is like this. Judgment, Cups, King. In regard to this, it feels like somebody is coming back with can be an apology. It can be a surprise connection as far as somebody realizing how they feel about somebody else. Pardon me. It can be somebody wanting to resurrect a relationship, to go about things in a very unconventional way because they recognize that you make them happy or they're happier with you. There's experiences to be had with you that may not be able to be had anywhere else, and that might be something of incredible joy. Now, I know so many of my readings are like harsh and dark and like, no, but this doesn't feel bad, okay? This feels more like we are coming into a sense of reconnection with somebody. It feels like we are coming into a sense of communication with somebody. This person may be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They may be well off, financially stable. They may be very stubborn and superficial. Those are all potentials and possibilities. But what I'm feeling here is somebody wants to communicate their emotions. And I'm saying emotions because this feels very blocked. Okay, this feels very blocked, and it feels like somebody has maybe had a hard time expressing the emotions here. So communication, it may be a little bit, how do I say that? Like the communication may be, it's not as warm as sometimes you might be used to. It's not as warm as how you could do it, but it's there. It's something to consider. It may seem stable. And it may also be in a situation where somebody is willing to accept you for who you are and go against the grain and kind of maybe step out of their own like constricting bubble to experience this watery, beautiful depths of Pisces that is incredibly lovely, but can also be terrifying to this type of energy. The King of Pentacles, Earth signs love stability. That's obvious and totally like generalized, but earth signs love stability. They love tactile things. They love things that make sense. They are very pragmatic. They're logical. They're practical. And with Pisces, while we can experience that, while we can like dive into that energy, sometimes that may not be where we necessarily live. Now, I do want to mention here though, earth signs, they love emotional intelligence, okay? They like to know that you have emotional intelligence. You act upon emotional intelligence. You see things deeply, but you can also kind of suss things out. You're not all fire and impetuous, impatient. You're not. We can be that way, but it's almost as if I'm feeling this person needs to feel calmed by knowing that you have your head on the planet or something, like your feet on the ground. That's it. And that's what brings them to moving things forward in a slow, progressive way. Not jumping out there into the waters with no floaties or whatever they called breathing apparatuses. Like, this person wants to be safe, but there's something magical about Pisces that feels like, yeah, let's do this. And I just say, take it slowly, because it feels like things are very positive here. It feels like we have a lot of emotional positivity. We have a lot of giving and taking. I feel also too, this person, speaking of giving and taking, don't let it just be you. Don't let it just be you giving and this person taking, or vice versa. Somebody here is also having a difficulty giving. That's what I'm feeling. Somebody's having a difficulty giving of their emotions. Somebody's having a difficulty giving of themselves to a situation that may be a little more different than maybe what they're used to. Go slowly, baby steps. If somebody is willing to accept you for who you are, let that be in return to them. Let that be reciprocal to them. And that will move you further together in a harmonious way and direction. So, let's go ahead and clarify cards here for you. I'm going to use a different deck. I'm being pulled to use this deck. This is the Thoth deck. Okay, show me energies present for Pisces. So let me just give them a little bit of a shuffle. They've been kind of hidden for a while. All right. Show me, let's see, who do I want to see? Show me the King of Pentacles. Show me the King of Pentacles. So you have the Prince of Discs, so you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, so you have the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and you also have the Page of Pentacles. This is moving slowly, but moving forward. It's somebody who gets involved in things that make sense for them. It's somebody who goes after something that works for them. They're happy to engage it if it has dividends. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's slow and steady wins the race here, okay? And I do want to mention too, though, moving forward with somebody like that, I keep getting like these kind of like puff bursts of like pictures of anxiety in my head. And what I'm feeling is almost as if like one step forward, two steps back. And I don't mean that in a detrimental way. I mean that like a little crab that's scared and it kind of puts itself out there in the ocean, and then the ocean tides come in, and then it's like, you know, it doesn't, it's there. It's going to participate no matter what, or it wants to participate, but it's touch and go. It's still scary. It's a big world out there, and Pisces is a vast ocean. So like, be conscious of that, be slow with that, communicate a lot of things. This person isn't a mind reader. This person wants to communicate, and they want to be communicated with, but in a very logical manner. So if you can kind of, I don't want to say change yourself, but I do want to say, at least when approaching communication with this person, go in with the mindset that it doesn't necessarily, it's not going to be helpful if it's vague, okay? It needs to be a little bit more concise, a little bit more together. Show me the Judgment card. So you have the Seven of Pentacles here for Judgment. So the Seven of Pentacles essentially talks about assessing a situation. It talks about figuring out what makes sense for you. Do I put energy into this? Do I not put energy into it? You know, here, the Seven of Pentacles here, how does this work for you? How does this work in your life? Is this something that you think you can put energy and effort into that will start to move towards your positive feelings, your emotional well-being? Is this somebody that you can connect with emotionally and have a stable union? You know, that seems to be popping up for me versus like money, or, you know, is this person wealthy enough? That's not what I'm feeling at all. It really depends upon how you're feeling about this person on an emotional level. What, and it's not what they just give you. It's like, how do you grow with them? How do you operate with them? It's not somebody give me something. It's how do we work together in tandem? Because underneath that, the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands goes after what she wants. The Queen of Wands is somebody who, well, oftentimes the Queen of Wands is represented by Pisces, but she's somebody who trusts herself. She trusts her intuition. She's connected to her feelings, her emotions in certain ways. And sometimes she's connected more towards the get up and go type energy, but she's connected to it regardless. So it's important to really evaluate the situation. Take your time. I feel like in the beginning I said deep contemplation. That's what I'm feeling here. So, you know, deep contemplation before you run in head first. But when you do run in, it may be really nice, okay? Show me the Magician here for Pisces. So you have the Four of Swords here in reverse, popping out in reverse. You know, it's interesting with the Four of Swords in reverse, that can talk about essentially moving forward with something that we've thought of for a long time, moving forward with something that we've been kind of putting on the back burner for a little bit. You know, and I do want to mention this too, in regard to if you're not with somebody, but you're like contemplating how to make something happen for yourself in your life, like a new thing, kind of like that paper crane idea that I was talking about briefly. It's like you've sat on that enough. It's just stated. You've had enough time to think about it, the ins and the outs, the ways, how it goes, and it's about taking action. It's about moving things forward. Here's the Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is essentially energy of movement. It's energy of recognizing passions, desires, what makes you get up and go, what puts you into that Queen of Wands energy where you can just get up and go and do it and commit to it and be satisfied giving to it. That's the energy that I'm feeling here. And that is this energy, this fire energy, the Magician, okay? So whether somebody has thought about this with a partner or whether somebody is dealing with a situation where they have to move forward now, you have the tools, you have the gifts, you have the knowledge to do so. You just have to do it and you have to commit to it, because what I'm feeling here too is an ambivalence, and I'm feeling Knight of Wands energy. Now, I want to say first, like, Knight of Wands isn't just somebody who pops in and out of your life and he's a player and this and that. Knight of Wands energy can also be somebody who's very excited about getting something started, and then when they like start endeavoring in it, they can get a little bit freaked out and go the other way, or they don't stay with it. Utilize the Queen of Wands energy. Stay with the project. Stay with the situation. It feels like with that person too. It feels like touch and go, slow, one step forward, two steps back, but the willingness is there. That's what it feels like here, Pisces. Show me the Hierophant in reverse. So here we have the Lust in reverse. It's the Strength card in reverse. Now, you know, it's interesting because Strength in reverse can often talk about not having patience, moving too quickly, being impetuous, doing things out of conventional terms, you know. It can also be talking about being fed up with conventional terms and doing things on your own. That's a big one that I'm picking up here right now. And with that, being very honest and truthful about that energy, because it's important to do that. Like, we live by the rules of so many other people. Like, it's really time to start living by our own rules. You know, granted, you don't kill anybody, but it's time to start living by your own rules. It's time to start really relaxing about what makes sense for everybody else and just makes sense for you. Okay? Be genuine about that. Be truthful about that. And sometimes that can take a great deal of bravery. Turn this card upright. Okay? There it goes on the floor. That's it. It's done. You know, baby steps here. Baby steps for you too. Positive energy, but tame that energy. Tame that fearful side of yourself. You have a lot of places to go, Pisces, and they are supported for you. You know, you just have to step into the role, okay? Show me the Page of Cups for Pisces. Ooh. Show me the Page of Cups for Pisces. Pisces. You have the Two of Cups here, with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Jesus. Whoa. Dude. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Okay. So, I'm going to get yippee skippy here for a minute. So, for the Page of Cups, and I pulled a bunch of cards out. A bunch of cards. We have the Two of Cups here. And for some reason, I'm pulling out this Ace of Swords. I'm feeling that somebody's communicating this energy. And if this isn't somebody that you're dealing with, this is getting very clear on what works for you, what harmonizes with your energies, what makes you happy, okay? You have here too, underneath that on the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Swords. Beneath the Ace of Swords, you have the Ace of Cups. And beneath the Ace of Cups, you have the 10 of Pentacles. So, longevity, financial respect, that first came through. Financial respect, but also financial abundance. Really, you're going to have to be very Oh God. Be genuine with yourself about what it is that you're endeavoring into, because that's going to provide you your happiness, but also your bread and butter. Okay. Do not be fraudulent about anything. Don't lie to yourself about what makes you happy. Don't overthink things. And if you're getting involved in a situation where you are going to start producing things, if you're going on an entrepreneur situation, you have to be very solid in what it is that you're putting out there. Don't try to pander to people. Don't try to pander to society. You're a Pisces. You have a very unique way of thinking about things, doing things your own way. I would say consider doing that and sticking to it. You have a lot of positivity here, communication that is very solid. You have a lot of creative energy and a lot of love present here. And underneath all that, you have the Queen of Cups. This is you, Pisces. I don't know. I feel refreshed with this reading. I feel a different sense of exuberant energy. I feel a sense of accomplishment. That's what I feel. I feel a sense of accomplishment. And it's not gloating. It's I feel a sense of accomplishment with this energy. It feels really good. And it's something that can build towards what you want in the future. It's something that you can move towards positively in the future. Yeah. And let's see, what else? Show me the Six of Wands. So with the Six of Wands, you have the Tower. So what do you need to let go of here, Pisces, to move forward? What is it that you need to let go of to move forward? And also in regard to this card, what are you worried about? Are you terrified that by moving forward, you're going to run into a lot of, are you worried that it's going to crash and burn? Let's pull one more for the Tower, okay, Pisces? I'm going to pull from a different deck. Let's use this deck. Show me the Tower for Pisces. So you have the Seven of Cups and you have the Queen of Cups here with the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. So in regard to this energy, you're going to have to commit to something. I feel this is more work related or entrepreneurial related. This may also be in regard to this person, this earth sign. It doesn't have to be an earth sign. It's just somebody who seems to be very stable. But it feels here, Pisces, that you're going to have to allow certain ways of thinking to crash and burn. Also, I would say stop overthinking things. Because you may be tripping yourself up in regard to how to go about something. Create a solid game plan and stick with that. Of course, there will be tweaks along the way, but don't keep changing the subject matter. Don't, okay, well, I want to do this. Well, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do this. You need to commit to something, okay? But it must sit within a level of where you feel emotionally satisfied, where you feel like this is something that you can actually commit to and end up being very happy in. The Emperor at the bottom of the deck. This energy, ooh, Pisces. This energy is the bottom underneath the Emperor. You have the King of Pentacles. You have the King of Pentacles highlighted here in this reading, okay? So Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but basically this person is stable, and if it's dealing with a person, this person is more so stable, and they are willing to work with you. They're willing to experience things with you on a positive note, and take their time. They trust you, you trust them. It's a slow, steady gain. Okay, I want to do one more. All right, show me for Pisces. Jesus. All right, so let's pull this out. I'm not trying to. I've got cards flying everywhere, Pisces. We have Aurora. So Aurora, where are you, Aurora? Sorry, took a little time to find. Aurora. I love these cards. They're all hand-painted. Positive omens, ancestral spirits, gods, goddesses. Aurora. Across many cultures, the aurora borealis, australis, were thought to have mystical origins. The Vikings believed the lights were from the Bifrost, or Bifrost, a rainbow bridge that connected the 9 realms of Norse mythology, while ancient Greeks thought they were from the chariot of the goddess Aurora. Chinese legends associated them with battling dragons. Other cultures, such as those from North America and Northern Europe, believe that the lights to be the spirits of the dead. They are typically very positive omens. I don't know what the hell that means, but I do know that the energy of this reading is very, I feel very calm, and I feel a sense of accomplishment, and I feel a sense of going forward in a situation that, I don't know, I don't feel scared. I don't feel scared. I don't know. Maybe you guys will go and see the aurora borealis. Who knows? Okay. So, oh, and lavender popped out. Lavender. Let's read lavender. I feel like Pisces has gotten lavender before. Okay, Pisces. Lavender. Peace of mind, serenity, relaxation. The lavender is the ultimate symbol of serenity. Due to the relaxing feelings one gets when smelling the flower's beautiful aroma, historically, lavender was used to cure all sorts of ailments, ranging from gastrointestinal issues to anxiety, and is still used extensively to this day in aromatherapy. It is a flower that encourages meditation, calmness, and peace of mind. So, Pisces, and again, whatever that means, it means something maybe not. Also, some of you for entrepreneurial things may be getting into aromatherapy, sometimes bath salts, shampoos, body creams. Be careful about that kind of stuff too, though, because sometimes things are not going to be healthy for certain people to use them, like pregnant women and clary sage, or, you know, different stuff. Be careful about that. Know your products, know the things that you're doing. Just don't go in blindly. Know the products. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. And my name is Isel. I'm on YouTube as the Altruistic Mystic. And if you found this helpful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And there's a link to donate in the description box below if that was something that you want to do. All right, take care, you guys. Bye.